What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here, and today one of the biggest stories of the entire offseason is finally coming to a conclusion. And with that conclusion, like with all stories, everything's a domino where when one thing happens and it sets off like a chain reaction and stuff. So we are getting the conclusion or the resolution or whatever to one issue, but then that's popping up all these other different problems, all these different other things to kind of talk about. So it is very, very interesting. But of course, today we are talking about the finale of this offseason for Kcorp and their journey to get into the LEC in 2023. But first, a word from today's sponsor, which is, of course, Prize Picks. This is daily fantasy made easy. It's really, really fun and simple website and app that you can use. You can use prizepicks.com, go to the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store, and for new users, if you check out the first link in the description below, they're going to actually match your first deposit up to $100 when you get signed up today and check out some of their games. They have some CSGO games up right now. Again, they offer all different kinds of esports, traditional sports, all different kinds of stuff. But this is how easy it is. You just pick a player and then like, hey, for CSGO, they're saying, hey, projected kills. You just pick whether you think they're going to get more or less or whatever. And then if your picks hit, obviously you can win, which is really, really exciting. But it really is that simple. If you guys want to go over there, make some picks of your own, I would appreciate that a ton. Definitely helps out my channel and my content and me a whole lot. Prize Picks has been amazing to work with. I think they have a great product. I think you guys should check them out. But that being said, let's get right into today's video, where we are talking about this big tweet from LEC Wooloo, but there was plenty of people talking about this. I know Alejandro tweeted about it, and some people just kind of reached out to me, and they told me what Kcorp was saying. I think Kcorp, the CEO of Kcorp, owner of Kcorp, whatever, founder, head, whatever he is at this point. I think he was streaming today, and he was saying some stuff. So, hey, I had some French fans, some Kcorp, KC Ultras, whatever you want to call them, reaching out to me. I had heard this stuff, but then everyone started tweeting about it, obviously, because it was a very, very big deal. And Wooloo tweeted this. He said, the CEO of Kcorp, Kcorp, has announced on his stream that Kcorp won't be in the LEC next year. Kcorp turned his cam off due to the emotion, saying that nobody wants to be in the LEC more than he does, but that he wants to do it the right way. He also said that they were very close at some point. So that is, going to sting a little bit, and that is going to be kind of hard to read and hear for Kcorp fans, but also just for fans of the LEC and people who wanted to really see a new exciting org come into the LEC and see what they were going to be able to do, because I think a lot of people think that this would have had a very, very positive impact and positive change on the LEC and done a lot of good things. Whether you're a fan of whoever, if you're G2, this would have been a fun rivalry. If you're Fnatic, this would be fun having them in the bunch. If you're Koi, obviously you'd really, really love to have them. But even if you're just a fan of European League of Legends or Western League of Legends or League of Legends esports at all, I think there's very, very few people that would be like, hey, in a vacuum, I would rather have Astralis in the LEC than Kcorp at the end of the day. So in that way, it does suck. But Wooloo does say he recommends that anyone understands French to watch the full clip. I know he kind of ended up, like live tweeting about the clip and exactly what he was saying and doing all that stuff, and it's all in French. And but yeah, it's super, super interesting stuff. Obviously, this has been a crazy journey and a crazy ride for the past couple months. It seems like every week we've gotten some new news, whether they've been close, whether they've been gaining ground, whether they've been further away, whether things were going good, bad, whatever. But like Wooloo says, Kcorp says that he wants to do it right, and I can only assume that means, they want to get in for a fair price, for a price that makes sense without losing equity, or at least too much equity, more equity than they would deem fair or whatever. But especially when they have opportunities in the future to get a spot, the Kcorp's not going away. They're going to be fighting for the same things in 2024. But also the LEC has possible expansion, probably not too far in the future. And Kcorp's obviously going to be one of the prime candidates for that. And we are headed into a potential, esports winter or whatever, where global economies are struggling. Money isn't exactly pouring into esports now. And it's very, very possible that these same LEC slots could be up for sale much cheaper at this time next year, if people really do start, kind of bleeding money and hurting for cash and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, these LEC slots, even though we love them and it's exciting and it's fun and we all love League of Legends esports and all this stuff, a lot of these teams are not profitable. A lot of these teams are not making money. So it is hard, to give up equity or give up all this cash or all these different things going on. So I don't totally blame Kcorp and I don't blame him. I actually think this is a very, very tough decision to make, and I respect that a lot, making the hard decision when, I'm sure so many fans would have just been like, hey, do what you got to do. Get us in the LEC. Let's get this thing done. But making that really, really strong business call, and being a leader, I think, is something very, very important as far as the long term, because you really do need to play the long game. Obviously, in the short term, throwing the amount of money, getting the LEC, everyone goes crazy, but does that make the most sense, and is that the way to make Kcorp the most successful going forward in the future? Wooloo also did tweet out this. I don't know why the colors changed. Like, all my new tabs are black now. This one's like, it's got like a little blue, gray, whatever background going on. Now it's just all black. I don't know what happened. Maybe Twitter updated or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, because I figured these would have been made at similar times, but whatever. Sources, Astralis has decided to commit to the LEC. This is kind of two different stories, because just because Kcorp doesn't end up in the LEC doesn't mean that Astralis is necessarily staying. Obviously, there were some other teams interested in the Astralis slot as well, but Wooloo does kind of confirm that, yes, Astralis will be back in the LEC in 2023. He says the Danish organization received cash bids from 2 different teams, one of them being Giants. However, Astralis is not going to sell. Now, he actually doesn't tell us who the other team is, because you might assume, oh, well, hey, the other team's Kcorp. You got to remember, no, Kcorp wasn't necessarily just offering a cash bid, and we don't even know if Kcorp ever did give a cash bid. We know potentially some of their stuff was involving equity, or maybe they were just, talking speculatively and stuff like that, because he does say here, as you may know, a third team, Kcorp, had discussions for a possible partnership, which sounds like, really teaming up with the people at Astralis. Those are conversations that take time. It's hard to say if they will evolve during the next year. A loan was not discussed. Rumors about it were false. So kind of interesting, kind of funny there. But who is that other team? Giants obviously gave them a cash bid, but who else did? It makes us wonder, was that Navi? Was that FaZe? Was that TSM? Was that one of these other teams that have been involved in this whole crazy saga? Like I said, over the past couple months, really, I really do think that this was like dating back to August. It feels like, at least. I could be wrong. But yeah. Astralis is sticking around, for better or for worse. I hope, if they are sticking around, I hope that they have a plan for 2023 to be better, more exciting, more interesting, to actually use some resources and use them wisely, and do some things that hopefully make sense. I know that Astralis was a little bit better in 2022 than a lot of people expected, but what did they finish overall? Like 7th, 8th, something like that. It was like, oh, wow, guys, they didn't finish 10th. They didn't go 2-16. Let's go crazy. Like, no, that shouldn't be good enough. That is really just kind of whack. But I don't know. Astralis has been a meme for so long. I hope they do good. If they're holding on to the spot, I hope it's not to a detriment to the LEC, and I hope they can make fans proud and get fans excited, because in a franchise league, I do think that is kind of the responsibility of every single team in it. We also did have this from esports person as well. He did say that, of course, sources Carmine Corp have allowed both Cabo and Saken to explore options for next year. However, they can still stay on the team depending on the offers. Again, this is not them kicking Cabo or kicking Saken or whatever. Obviously, they'd love to have them. Now they're going to be an ERL team next year. Saken, one of the best ERL mids. Cabo, one of the best ERL tops. But they also know that, hey, these are two very, very good players who could very well have LEC potential or LEC offers, and they don't want to be the ones holding them back. They don't want to be keeping them in contract jail or anything like that. He then goes on to say that Saken's contract runs out in November and Cabo's is in 2023. But from what I've been told, Saken's contract did get extended to 2023. That might be wrong, but I've had a lot of French fans tell me that, or say that Kometo said that or something. I'm not exactly sure. This will also be very, very interesting, because, if Kcorp was going to break in the LEC, they were going to have Cabo and Saken and maybe get Hansama and have this really, really crazy team. But now, all of a sudden, Hansama is going to end up somewhere else. Saken and Cabo might end up somewhere else. Who's Kcorp going to bring in? How attractive are they going to be to potential free agents, especially when they're going to have to compete with LEC teams for a non-LEC spot? But yeah, very, very spicy stuff. 2023 will definitely be an interesting year, but unfortunately, it will be a year without Kcorp in the LEC. This has been a story we've been talking about for so long. Finally comes to an end, finally. But hey, that doesn't mean there's not still plenty of stuff to talk about, and we're going to keep doing that right here on this channel. But make sure you guys check out Prize Picks for the description below. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.